Hey, thanks for stopping by.
You got your little prompt.
Well,
Okay. And you're done with your bagel.
finish my bagel.
Yeah. I got French toast this morning from a place and they messed up my order for like the first time ever. And I was like, oh, that's sad.
That is sad.
The apple I think was bad. Do you do
Ooh,
the apple pie glazed thing? Have you ever had that?
no.
It's like where they put the inside of apple pie on top of like the French toast. And it's like better than maple syrup. It's so good. I discovered it when I was in like Virginia, and now a local place does it. I'm like, oh, I can get French
Ooh.
toast. But
No, I'm a
yeah.
classic French toast.
Hmm.
So challah bread French toast will always be the best.
Oh, okay, that's fair. But yeah, speaking of French toast,
Great transition.
I think that's just gonna be a recurring thing. Just segues on this suck. Um, hello there. Thank you so much for visiting your local comic Sean. I'm Sean, and today Everett has stopped by to talk Hawkeye again. If this is
Woo!
your first time listening or watching, visiting your local Comic Con is a podcast where we normally talk comics in a book club style format. The titles guests and I are reading can be found on my socials at Local Comic Sean, well ahead of new episodes discussing them, and new episodes drop every Monday at midnight. For audio listeners, this podcast can be found on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and SoundCloud. For those who prefer video, the podcast can also be found on YouTube. Please feel free to follow or subscribe on your platforms of choice. If you like the show and want to support it, I encourage you to subscribe to our Patreon. Subscribing gives you the opportunity to see behind the scenes content, learn how the podcast gets made, and or gain access to resources for both reading and digital creation. Full disclosure, nothing has been posted. At this point, you're really just donating. We'll get something up there one day. Um,
Great sales point.
right? I check my phone every once in a while and I just see like zero patrons. I go, yeah, that makes sense. That checks out. Um, Thank you to all who subscribe to the show in any way, shape, or form. I truly appreciate it. Without further ado, let's get started and talk Hawkeye.
Woo!
Welcome back, Everett.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm just gonna come out and say I did not like the second half as much as the first
What?
half.
What? Love it so much.
I didn't care for it.
Oh my God. My favorite comic ever is in this back half.
So, so just to recap, we read Hawkeye by Matt Fraction, writer, David Aja, artist. Although the back half has a lot of guest artists. Um, it
Yeah, it's
was
a Kate's
released
whole
between
story.
2013 and 2015. For the first episode, we read like issues 1 through 12 and the annual. So for the back half, we basically read 13 through 22. The rest, I I thought the first half was better, even though it was set up.
Oh my God. You weren't touched by the resilience of people and the caring of community?
You know what? Here's this is gonna sound so bad. Um, get ready for this one because I can already see the reaction. Um, I was invested in Clint's story, did not care about Kate in California,
I love Kate in California.
didn't
I
care
get
for it.
it. I do get it. Like, it is a very big departure from the first half of the comic, but like Kate being adopted by a gay couple in California and becoming a PI with the
I
help of this like
liked the
wacky
characters.
vampire
Yeah,
dude who's
I liked the characters, did not care for anything that was happening. I liked the couple, I liked the detective.
oh, I love him.
And I was just kind of there, like, I don't care. Can I get back to
What?
Clint defending the building in, New York? That's all I wanted.
I will say I do think this is one part where the trades shown over the actual release.
Hmm.
Because with the trades, it's Kate's story is one book. You're reading through
Okay.
Kate's story all at once, and then you go back to Clint.
Okay, because when
So
I
it doesn't cut back and forth. Like I don't think the cutting back and forth helped it.
that's kind of the vibe I was getting because I read it issue by issue. And
Yeah,
so it was very much, all right, we're focusing on Clint for a issue or two. All right, now here's Kate for an issue or two. And I was just there like, I just want to
it
see
doesn't work as
Clint
well that way.
fight the tracksuit mafia. I don't care about, and it also weirded me out. Like, So is Madame Mask a robot? Because isn't that what the life
She's
model decoys are? I was
Yeah,
so
live model
confused.
decoys are robots, and that's how she stays young, is that
So,
she's passing on her consciousness. It's also why like it doesn't matter if she gets killed, which I mean they brought up that like um Moon Knight like fucking murked her.
yeah, which I found funny. Of like, there is a Moon Knight, just so you guys know.
Just so you know, Moon Knight does exist. Like people, because back then nobody knew about Moon Knight.
Yeah. I
Moon
love all
Knight
the
is
Moon Knight
real.
memes that I keep seeing pop up on my phone of like Dracula owes me money.
Dracula owes
Um,
me money, and now you've met Dracula's boy toy.
oh wait, Harper, or whatever his name is.
Harold, Harold,
Har
Harold.
Sorry, I know a Harper, so I was thinking Harper. Harold. Yeah. That was a funny bit. What's his name? I saw it on his license. It's Harold H. Harold. What does the H stand for? Harold. Like
It's
very catch
amazing.
22 major.
Yup.
Um just but yeah, no. So just to give the quick play by play. So Clint's story is he's reconnecting with his brother while continuing to defend the building against the tracksuit mafia, and now their new assassin that took out Grills, the mime
Yeah.
looking guy.
He's a
And
clown.
what's his name? Kaiser?
I don't know. He's a clown, I
Yeah.
said.
Um I don't know. He looked more like a mime. He's got like
He
the
does look like a mime, but it's
tear.
very classic clown. Like it's
Oh, okay.
very very I don't want to say Harlequin because it's not, but it's
Hmm.
there's a time period. I don't know. We referenced it in a show I did. So that's
Nice. Yeah, no. So they're battling him. Um, and that was like pretty much Clint's story. But then Kate's story is she lost all of her stuff and money when she got to LA. So she's working as a private eye to try and make some cash and live by herself. She's both Clint and Kate, like we talked about last episode, are refusing to call anybody for help at all. I found
that's
it
the
very funny how
point.
it yeah, I found it very funny how in like the last issue of Kate being in California, she like, finally calls the Young Avengers and is like, "Hi, how you guys doing? Yeah, it's been a while. I've been doing shit, to be honest with
Yeah,
you. Like,
that's the whole point. It's they're learning to call other people and to help, to ask for help.
yeah, I
Like
know, because Clint
Kate gets
calls
a
the
support
Avengers and
system.
Spider-Woman. Yeah.
Yes. Which
But
Christmas issue we do have to talk about as well.
with the new one, the cartoon one,
Yes!
yeah,
By everything.
that was fine.
It was a little microcosm of the entire plot of the story.
Yeah, I did pick up on that, and I was like, at first I was like, this is the cartoon they're watching, and then I was like, oh no, Clint fell asleep. Okay, makes more sense. I did find it interesting how they made the place look like the Hall of Justice, and I was like,
Yeah.
we're referencing Super Friends very closely.
Oh yeah, it's great.
So where do you want to start?
That's the beginning's probably a good place,
Okay.
which
So,
is where we're at.
yeah, my first question is usually, what did you think about what we read as a whole?
I love it. Listen, okay, I understand there's some problems with the plot, especially when you're jumping back and forth,
Well, I
but
also heard that Fraction was wrapping up his time with Marvel when he was
yeah,
finishing up this run. I feel like that shows.
it does show, but also I feel like the back half is the emotional payoff. Like I
Yeah.
understand like for
The
a
last
heartless
two issues
person
were great.
that it it is basically both of them hitting a sort of rock bottom, which causes them to understand that they need other people in their life for help. Like, and Kate's obviously not as bad as Clint. That
No.
like Kate is still able to ask for help in certain ways, but she is um taking that step into being an adult and understanding that being an adult means you kind of got to put your ego aside sometimes and you kind of have to work with other people who may have more information than you.
Yeah.
And so she does that to finally get it over on Madame Mask and with everything with her father, which I
Hmm.
love. Um, and then kind of in a way forgives Clint and comes back. And then in Clint's side of it, you have him really hitting rock bottom to the point where he straight up for an issue refuses to communicate with people
Well, he
and
was
then
deaf.
realizing, well, he can sign.
Yeah.
Like the best part is like he can communicate.
Hmm.
Barney is signing to him. Like he is reading lips with admitted mixed success, as with reading lips as usual.
Yeah.
Um, but he's just refusing to communicate.
And I thought
And
the
then
way those conversations played out with just like the empty speech bubbles were awesome. Like
that's my favorite issue ever, I will fully say.
yes, now I can say when we talked last episode about like, isn't Hawkeye deaf? And you're like, you're gonna have to keep reading. I'm like,
Gotta keep
oh,
reading.
okay. The mime stabbed him in both ears with arrows. That's great.
Well, it also does reference the fact that like he already had fucked up hearing.
Yeah, this just
His
solidified it.
hearing was already really bad. This is just like made it much, much worse.
Hmm. And I did like the flashbacks to like when his hearing like was lost as like or mostly lost as like a kid and like the
Yeah.
way it cut back and forth between present day Clint and Barney arguing versus them then and it's kind of like repeating the lessons. I thought that was really cool. I think Barney was definitely a standout character in the back
I
half.
love Barney Barton. Like,
Yeah.
and this is why, like, I get he's bad guy, sub like very inconsistent character
Well, when
in
he
terms
first
of like,
shows up, like they're catching up as they walk onto the roof, and then Clint's like, "Yeah, I think at that time you try to kill Bobby, or you try to do that." It's like, "Oh yeah,
yeah,
you just try to kill my wife at the time," and all this, and they're
yeah,
just like,
like
"Yeah, all right."
he's a mix between like bad guy and then he was in the FBI for a little bit. Like Barney's all over the place.
Yeah,
I kind of just accept that Barney's doing whatever he's doing when he shows up in a comic book that like I don't track his history. I just enjoy him when he's here.
I like that he became like, stepdad is the best term I can put
Yeah,
it to like Clint's neighbor and
he
their
just
two
starts dating
kids.
Simone. It's
Yeah.
great.
And then
I love
runs away with them. He steals all of the money back, plus whatever Clint got from like Kingpin and the villains, and just
Mhm.
gets a yacht and is like, oh yeah, so I'm gonna be sailing with your former neighbor and her kids for a while. Hey,
Yup.
and I
So
just loved
sorry.
I loved how like he even was like caring at that moment that he was basically like telling Clint like, ha, sucks for you. Because he's like, get away from the railing. It's okay, Johnny. Just don't go near the railing. Barney was awesome. So he faked needing to be in a wheelchair.
I don't think he faked it. I just don't think he needed it as
Yeah.
I think it's very much like a he did need the mobility aid, but at the same part, like I think it was something that he was relying on also as a bit of a catch. Like
Yeah.
that he's able to get up again. I think it was also like because he was injured.
Hmm. Yeah, no, he got
I
shot
just
like
don't think it was
several times.
permanent, and I do think he just has a very high pain tolerance. Because
Yeah,
that's what Clint was talking about, that Barney is able to withstand pain.
and you do see that panel of him helping the mom and her two kids into the cab. So I guess if you want to think about it, probably the mom and the two kids loaded up all the money beforehand
Yeah.
and Clint's just Clint, so he didn't bother to look. And then,
Wait, I think that they showed that the duffel bag was still there.
oh, I don't
Because
know.
that's
I'd
when
have to go
Clint
back and look.
says, like, don't fucking take my money or I will come and kill you.
Okay. Yeah,
And
because I
Barney's
feel like
like,
it's more plausible
bet.
that the family took the money ahead of time than Barney, who was in a wheelchair and still
But
like
he
in
had to
pain.
get down through Clint's
Yeah,
apartment. He
yeah.
literally passed the duffel bag on the way out.
No, but there was like tens of duffel bags down there. There was like millions of dollars.
Wait, there was how many duffel bags were there? I thought
Uh,
it was just the one.
No, there was like a lot of money. I forget what issue it was. I think it had to be like 18 or 19. Let me pull it up. But yeah, no, like they look at all the money because Clint says he goes, if things go bad and like, I want you to be able to get out of this, Barney, you can use the money as like a bargaining chip with the tracksuit mafia. And I'm checking issue. Here it is. Yeah, no.
Wait, no, you're right. I
Yeah.
think they took it with them. I think the kids
Look
took
at
it.
all
The
those
duffel bags
duffel
are being loaded
bags.
into the cab. The duffel bags are being loaded into the cab in front of Clint. Wait a second.
Clint is such a dumbass.
This is why he's my favorite superhero. This is why. Hold on.
And when I first read that, I processed it as just their luggage, but yeah, those are just straight up duffel
That is
bags.
straight up the duffel bags. Oh my God.
It's such a
This is so
dumbass.
funny. Do you see why I love this? so
Again,
much.
I liked the Clint and Barney stuff. I just didn't care about LA. Like the guy. So then is Harold also a LMD? He's also life model decoy?
Yes, he was killed and made into an LMD,
Weird. It was just
which is wild because I think he was a vampire.
I don't know. I
Either he
just
was a vampire or he was just close with Dracula. Because I know he was friends with Dracula.
yeah, that was the thing. I think maybe part of the reason why I didn't care for the Kate stuff is that Clint's story in like the first half of this book is very grounded, like nothing too supernatural or crazy happening aside from like spy stuff. And then Kate's dealing with LMDs and vampires, and it was almost like the hell? What is this? And then
It's
Coulson and
fun.
Maria Hill show up because they're like, oh no, this is Shield business. I was like, why? What are we doing here?
Yeah, it makes me wonder. I've always wondered if there was a tie-in to like a larger story happening there.
Yeah, and I feel like maybe when I do my Avengers binge, I'll like see something of like, oh yeah, Nick Fury's LMD technology went missing and blah 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 blah.
Yeah, which text me if that does, because I straight up have just never looked.
Yeah. Well, especially like the Spider-Woman stuff, like because she also just kind of comes back and they're like, all right, we're gonna make up. And it's like, okay, I
Hey,
guess
he's
they're
grown as
back
a
together.
person
Has he
and is
though?
showing he regrets his actions.
Well, he did get points by not kissing Penny again at the end
Yes.
in
And
front of
forgetting her
Jess
name.
and
And
forgetting her name.
forgetting Penny's name.
Yeah. Well, did he even really know it?
I don't think
Like,
he did.
because when she shows back up in that issue we talked about last episode with like, he's playing cards with, again, his ex-wife, his current fling, and as you put it, whatever he and Natasha have going on. Um, when she shows up, he's just kind of like, "Hey, you,"
You.
and it's Natasha who really figures out her real name because she like
Yep.
investigates her. But also like when Penny comes back. Again, that's also where I felt like this feels like we were just trying to wrap up the story because, the whole thing was that she didn't know the combo because it was like she needed the comic books in a certain order to remember the combo. And then she just kind of shows up and is like, oh, yeah, I can open the safe. Um,
Yeah.
and I expected there to be a little more with the safe. And instead, it was just like, yeah, no, my passport's in there. And I guess the documents exposing that y'all are buying up buildings illegally or something. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, nice, neat little bow.
I guess I'm okay with it. Like
Yeah.
I was much more in it for the emotional story, so that also might be why.
I think the Clint and Barney stuff was really good. I liked Kate's interaction with the characters. I liked the story of Kate trying to make it on her own, but I definitely think it got hindered by, issue Clint, issue Kate. I was just like, I
Yeah.
I, I just want to focus on the Clint stuff. Maybe if I read it in trade form where it was like, okay, I read all the Kate stuff in one go, then I get back to
Yeah.
Clint. Probably might have enjoyed it better.
It
But
does.
even
And then
Madame Mask,
also
I felt was
because
stronger in the first half, ironically. Like for the few
it is
appearances
because
she had.
they Madame Mask isn't as big of a character in the back half.
Yeah,
Like she is like the main antagonist, but I think because Kate's just not picking up on the fact that everything's connected to her.
yeah.
Like Kate is straight up a girl in the coffee shop that is talking to Kate about everything, fully says she stole my face, she stole my life, she stole like everything, like brings up Madame Mask and what she did. And Kate goes, wow, sounds boring. Kate doesn't understand what's happening. It's great. I
It's
love
funny that like, especially like when I read America, when Christy and I were like talking about it, like Kate is like shown as like this master private investigator. Like she
so
checks all the
not.
receipts, can dig into things, and then like this is I guess her first starting out, so she's just like, yeah, yeah, I don't care. I'm focused on that guy. Leave me alone.
Yeah, like this isn't like huge story. This is just my little thing. And it's like, no, Kate, no, Kate, you stumbled upon something.
I did like that she got her Thunderbird from the couple that kind of like adopted her, giving her the money for it. I was like, "Oh, that's how she gets the Thunderbird. That's nice."
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Oh, and
love
Clint's
them. I
car
want to
did
see
come
more of
back
them.
after Sandy. It got fixed
Yes.
up and put in a garage and they used it to battering ram the tracksuit mafia in like the finale.
Yes. The
I
coolest
was
person who lives in Clint's building.
that was as a car owner, that was just something I'm like, yes, the car. It came back. Because
I
if I
never
just
took you
lost
as
a
a car guy.
I mean, I own a car. If anything happened to my car, not that it's a great car, it is very much a lower tier car. But if anything happened, if it got swept away in a hurricane, I'd be like, oh my God, my car. Meanwhile, Clint is just, aw, car.
Well, yeah, because he didn't re the way he acquired the car wasn't fully like
It still is.
he
He
he had
bought
the
it,
car for like a week or two. Like he did not have a lot of time with
but it was
said
a
car.
70s Challenger. It was his dream car or whatever. Anyway, I was just happy to see the car come back.
Yeah, it
And
was
I will
nice.
say, if we're talking about returns, Kate's return to New York was some of the coolest panels I have read of just like the silhouette walking through the fire with
So
Lucky
sick.
at her side. So good.
The idea of giving Lucky the boomerang arrow and sending him up to find Clint, that it's just so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I didn't appreciate them shooting Lucky.
No,
That
no, Lucky really gets hurt.
that messed me up. Again, we started this book with Lucky getting thrown in, kicked into the street, hit by a
And hit by a
car,
car.
almost dying. And like I was like,
This
Jesus
dog really
Christ.
gets beat to hell,
Yeah, Lucky loses an eye and then like in the final whatever gets shot not with a pistol, I think it was a shotgun.
which is probably why he survived as well.
Yeah, but still. And what was worse was so for another episode I'm reading a Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. And in the first issue of that, Crypto gets shot with like a poison arrow. And
The fuck?
I read both these issues in like the same day. I was like, Jesus Christ, why am I reading everything about dogs getting shot? It's
That's
not
what we should.
okay.
The next time I come on here, we should just watch all of Crypto the Superdog.
Oh my God, I forgot that existed.
That was one of my favorite shows as a child.
Young Justice is the one I will always go back to. Again, I wasted so much time watching cartoons that were not superhero related. I watched Johnny Test. I watched I mean
Johnny Test was
it
great.
was a good show, but like, did it add to my DC or
Do
Marvel
I
knowledge?
do I roast you right now?
Sure, go for it.
You spent so much time watching Big Time Rush and memorizing all the episodes.
Listen, Big Time Rush was a good show. It
They're
sucks
coming
that
back. They're touring.
I saw with Gustavo and Caitlin or whatever her real
Oh
name
shit,
is.
really?
Yeah. Oh wait, I think the real name is Caitlin Tarver. Oh, Joe was the fictional name. Yeah, no, that they're gonna be like their warm-ups or opener. But two members of Big Time Rush, I feel like I've gotten a little off the deep end at times. Um, so I've kind of fallen out of touch with Big Time Rush a bit. I see stuff on social media, I'm just like, huh, interesting. Okay. But the show was still great. I stand by that. I don't regret watching it. Um, I also that show ended at the time that I didn't realize like shows ending or getting canceled was a thing. Like,
Oh,
because I remember like they did that like Nickelodeon Choice Awards parody, and then it was like, oh, when's the next episode coming out? Oh, it's just not. That was the end. That was the big finale. And I was like, oh, okay. And that was the same way with like Young Justice. Like, I remember
Young Justice's
realizing
end.
like a year later, like, oh, Young Justice got canceled. Like, it's not coming back.
Yeah.
And also, I think that seems to be the case with Young Justice now because season four
It,
sucked.
yeah.
It was so bad. I
Sometimes I
respect.
wish it could just stay the like shining beacon in my brain
Yep.
of like it was before they brought it back. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm always happy for more Nightwing, but at the
Yeah.
same time,
Well, it was dumb the way they did it. Like season three, I thought was solid. I like the idea of like the more covert operations
yeah.
of like they're going into other countries. They can't reveal that they are heroes because it could cause an incident and this and that. I liked all of that stuff, but what made it good was that they were still focusing on the group of characters at once. I respect trying to do something different in season four with like, every four episodes is like an arc focused on a character. It did not
Yeah.
work because the best
No.
part of Young Justice is them playing off of each other. And so when your through line is Superboy's in the Phantom Zone and Beast Boy is depressed, I feel like it wasn't enough of a
Also an
glue.
interesting take for Beast Boy.
It very much was. I just remember being like, this is what we're doing. And I know some people praise it. Some people really liked
No, it's
seeing that from Beast
not
Boy and like
horrible.
a mental health thing. But I was just like, I don't know why this is the through line we're using to connect all the tissue.
Yeah.
And again, they knew what they were doing to keep people watching till the end. They held the Nightwing arc for the very end. And without
Yeah.
Nightwing there for like the whole season, it was just such a detriment.
Yeah. I
Ugh.
will say I'm also somebody who like I'm not a big fan of season two even.
I initially was on the fence when it first started because I was like, what the heck is this 5 year time jump? But as it
I
went on, I liked seeing Nightwing. I liked
I'm
seeing
still
them
upset
older.
they skipped Jason.
Well, we were supposed to get Jason, but they
Okay.
decided to wait their turn or whatever they were doing because they like bring him, they tease him in season three, they tease him again in season four, and we just never saw Red Hood.
Yep. Though the redesign slaps.
Yeah, it was a good
That
design.
outfit slapped. But
It
like
was a good.
I'm still upset they skipped Jason. I wanted to see Jason as Robin.
Yeah, yeah.
More
So
Jason as
Hawkeye.
Robin is actually my take. So Hawkeye, sorry. If anybody watching doesn't understand, I'm a huge Batman fan.
Mm. You
This is
did
like the
mention last
only
episode.
Marvel series that like I really have much attachment to.
Yeah, no,
I
for
am
another
not a
episode
big Marvel fan
for another
anymore.
episode I've been reading Spider-Man 2099 and that episode is getting recorded the same day as this one. So if I look exactly the same, that's why. We're catching up a bit. Um,
You gonna change your shirt or are you just gonna keep the same?
I thought about it. I thought about doing
Do what they do
the
on Jeopardy, just change your shirt.
exactly where it's like, oh yeah, we'll see you next week, and then they change in between.
Yeah.
I'm lazy. I don't really feel like doing it. However, and I love this shirt, but I feel like Zoom does not do it justice because
No.
I just noticed like the collar looks so flat. I also Zoom has made me realize that these leaves repeat like so
Yeah.
close to each other, and I was like,
You also
hmm,
got the same bunches on your shoulders.
yeah, yeah. I doesn't Zoom does not do this shirt justice. I love this shirt. It does not.
It's a good shirt.
It's a good shirt. Yeah.
I
I got
love
to get
wearing
the
fun button
giraffes
downs.
or whatever you have going on.
Thank you. It was 25 cents at a thrift store.
There we go. But yeah. So, what did you especially like about Hawkeye if I were to follow my script here for this back
It was the
half?
emotional through line, the emotional
Hmm.
through line of it. I like the the character growth we saw. This is part of why, like, as we talked in the last episode with Avengers Age of Ultron, I felt kind of cheated out of that because if you're gonna like make Hawkeye an emotional character and like an emotional core of a movie, I feel like a lot of the reason that I cared about him in this was his growth
Hmm.
and that you can't really start from the end point. Like he kind of is a disaster and he doesn't have the best people skills.
Yeah.
And at least that's what always connected me to him was the fact that like he was learning
Hmm.
and that it was a very big like, yes, I feel the need to prove myself. Like as he straight up said, he said the Avengers don't need me,
Hmm.
which like, no, Clint, like you're there for a reason.
Well, that's where you get your Christmas issue that you probably love, where all the super friends or super animals, whatever they were called.
But even that, like he doesn't get it.
Yeah. Yeah, because the way they describe him is they're like, no, you are important to this team, normal dog or whatever they call him.
Yeah. That's like how he feels, like he's just the normal guy there. Like he's not special in any way. And so he doesn't think he belongs. And it's another reason why he doesn't call for help. This is
Yeah,
something that's important to him. And he's like, well, I don't matter enough for them to come help me.
yeah.
And then the realization, yeah, sorry, all the puns in that, all the
Y'all
puns in that are
dog, Rama in pajamas, Santaloupe, Samantha Hain, the pagan princess, Quanzigator, Minorable.
adorable. Honorable's my favorite.
I did like seeing little Kate dog and
Little Kate
big
dog
Clint
is
dog.
very cute. And then the
Yeah.
Barney dog just being ridiculous is great.
Brother.
Rudder. Also, I love the saying dog instead of bro in the dingoes.
It was a fun issue. I will give it that. I had
Listen,
fun.
sometimes you just need stupid fun.
Well, that was the thing. When I was it was another one of those issues that I was like, okay, we're detracting from the plot right now, but I did have fun with it. It was a good issue. It
Sometimes you
was
just need stupid fun.
it was interesting seeing Mockingbird, Spider-Woman, and Black Widow dog.
The Dachshund Spider-Woman dog with the arms is so funny to me. There is something about that visual. Like I have big dogs. I do not have a dachshund. If I ever was to get one though, that would be their Halloween costume every single year. The like the see like that's the whole thing. Like they're really
Hmm.
just spelling it out like very child cartoon wise, and I love it.
Hmm.
Listen, I understand there are issues with this, but like at the same time, I love it so much.
So
I
was there
love
anything
the
you
emotional
disliked
growth.
in the back half?
Um, I will say reading it back and forth because I did read it back and forth for this to help. I do not like that pacing.
Yeah.
I think that when I read it the first time, because I no, it was towards the end of it was when I started like actually picking it up and reading it week by week. Not week by week,
Mm.
month by month. Was it? How did what was the
I know
pacing?
there was a few breaks in there because when I read
Yeah.
the letters, they were like, "Oh my God, I know, right? A Hawkeye issue after a few months." So if
Yeah,
I'm
because I have these as like standard comic books, like, but I still bought the trades because I love them so much. But
actually, there was towards the end, there were quite a few gaps. So they were releasing
in
monthly.
one of those gaps, I
Yeah,
picked it up.
they were
So I got the
releasing
trades of the
monthly
first
until
two.
issue
And
17 about, but then issue 18 and 19 were 4 months apart. Uh,
don't remember this.
19 and 20 was about 2 months apart. So 20 came out in September of 2014. Issue 21 then came out not until February of 2015. And then the
And
final,
that's when I made my cosplay.
there you go. And the
Yeah.
final issue did not come out until July of 2015. So people had to wait 5 months
Yeah.
between 21 and
Oh my
22.
God. I think high school is just such a wild time that I don't remember these breaks. Like they do not exist in my brain. Like I
Yeah.
remember going to the comic store every month and being like, "Well, guess it's not here right now."
That would have
Back
driven
when
me
I see my
crazy if I was reading month to month. I would have been like, where is Hawkeye?
oh my gosh, wait. But so, but I guess I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking at 14, 15, but I just remember reading it again, at least with the trades, and
Hmm.
being able to read all through Kate and then all through Clint was really helpful
Mm.
because then also it made the whole story and the mystery of Harold H. Harold a lot more fun, and just getting the attachment to the characters much quicker. I love him. I don't know anything about him outside of this book, really.
I don't even know if he
I
shows
love
up
him.
in other books.
He's in Dracula.
He is in Dracula?
Yeah, he's in like Dracula like a while back.
Oh, like 70s Dracula or whatever.
80s maybe? Hold
You know
on.
what? Hold on.
We're
Let me
sorry, we're
look up
going on
the
a Harold H.
appearances of.
Harold bin.
I mean, he's in it. Might as well. Harold. He is
I
in the Tomb of Dracula from 72 to 79.
oh, it was 70s. Doctor Strange.
He's also been in Blade.
Oh,
I
and then it looks
literally
like he
have
came
had
back in
no
Marvel's
idea who
Undead.
this guy was before reading this book.
Oh, same. He's my only introduction to this character, but I love him so much for like these like few pages.
He's been in Nova, apparently.
He gives me like it looks like he started out as like again my DC knowledge, but like I started out as like a Jimmy Olsen kind of character and then
Mm.
became like a Constantine, and I kind of love that fall.
Well, I thought he might be just like a hallucination for Kate at the start, because like he'll give her something in the aisle and then just disappear. So then when it's like, oh no, he's an LMD, I was like,
He ran away. That's the
what?
best part. He like ran away. Like,
I was
I do love
confused.
this person.
So was he your standout character for the back half?
If I'm not including Barney, then yes, because
I was gonna
Barney
say
is my love.
Barney's gonna be mine. Just
Then if you want to take Barney, I'll take Harold H.
yeah.
Harold.
I loved Barney in the back half. Of just like I also liked how, you know, Clint and him are just like, yeah, all right, whatever. They're like, yeah, you've tried to kill me, I've tried to kill you.
They're
Whatever.
brothers. They're
We're
brothers.
gonna stop the Tracksuit Mafia together. And we also got the answer that I was wondering about in the first episode. The woman in the apartment building, I guess, is with the Tracksuit Mafia
It's
or
her
whatever.
son. Yeah.
Who's her son? The guy that Penny's
I
husband
think
that
the
died?
guy in charge or something like that, because she was saying that like you hurt my boy.
Yeah, and that's where I got confused. I'm like, is she talking about the guy that Penny killed that was the son of the
Thought it was the guy
tracksuit
in white.
boss? Yeah,
Oh, it might have been.
because the guy in white, I guess they're together because they fly off together in the end of the book.
Which them sitting right in front of Penny, like your heart just goes, "Oh fuck, kid!" Like,
Yeah.
oh, you're screwed.
It's very much like one of those endings of like I picture it like although this went nowhere, come to think of it. I was thinking of the end of Iron Fist season one.
Oh,
Um
I did not watch Iron Fist.
so the end of Iron Fist season one is like a setup for season two in the way that like Danny Rand's former friend Davos, who becomes like a villain in season two, he steals the Iron Fist. He has a
Wait,
conversation
it's like an object?
like it's like he steals the essence or something. I have no idea.
Okay.
Um, but anyway, so season two is actually better than season one. Season two
All
was
right.
pretty good time. But he's like talking to like childhood friend of Iron Fist, and Madame Gao from Daredevil is like sitting at a table across the way, listening in on the conversation, teasing that, oh, I'm gonna be involved in season two. But then Madame Gao gets like crushed by a building in Defenders, so that went nowhere.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. You can see the confusion in me being like, wait, she does.
Yeah, she gets
She does.
crushed with the dragon bones in New York that exist. Ah, Defenders.
Hey, that is the plot of the D&D campaign I'm running for my kids.
Wow, you play D&D? What a loser. Who plays D&D? Even though I just finished a 4 episode D&D campaign.
No.
Now streaming on YouTube. I had a really strong episode 3. I was getting rolls like you wouldn't believe. Got a nat 20 and all this. Episode 4, my rolls went to shit.
Amazing.
I was getting just twos, threes. I got killed by a mind
I
flayer.
love it when that happens. I had a
Yeah.
character that went down in every fight.
Yeah.
That was
So
actually a plot point about him, but he went down in every single fight we had. And it was like, and everyone's like, you don't need to prove yourself. And I'm like, you're not getting it.
it ain't gonna happen.
It ain't
Um
gonna happen. He's going down.
yeah.
Um, but back to the books.
I
So
also
standout
like the
character for Green
covers for the
Arrow.
first half better. I didn't
The,
care so much for the orange and red scheme.
I think the orange and red, it's kind of, I don't know. The purple and blues are so much nicer, but
Yeah.
I will say it's kind of like it shows that like it's heating up. Like
Yeah.
it's getting more intense. The color scheme is getting warmer.
Mm-hmm.
And also the sun's coming out.
Aw, I feel like we're going full like 10th grade English now. Look at all
Fuck
the
you.
symbolism. Look at
Hey,
look at all the
reminder, I am a teacher.
I know. I would love that. Have you've had to have thought of this too, right? Is like wishing you could go back and talk to an author, being like, "Is this the symbolism you meant?" And they're like, "Nah, I just threw that in there." Like that's what I would
Oh, that
love
fully
to see.
happens. But
Yeah,
as somebody who also writes, like sometimes you throw
yeah,
something in there and somebody goes, "Oh my God, like the symbolism's so great." And you go, "Yes.
exactly.
Yes,
Yes,
it is.
that's exactly
It
what
was
I
there.
intended.
It's
Hmm.
completely what I meant."
Yeah.
Um, no, I think they did just change the color scheme, but I do like the idea of sun's coming out because it's all dark in the beginning.
That's a good point. I suppose. I suppose. I like the first half better. I just like the first.
Valid. No, it's a valid take. Again, this is a very divisive series.
I don't know if it's divisive.
There's a lot of people who hate it.
Really?
There's a lot of people who hate it.
Why? Like, what
I
have you read like feedback or commentary that's just like this
um
book sucks and this is why?
the pacing. The pacing,
Pacing.
the storyline, that it's kind of like none of it matters.
Well,
It's
apparently an
very much
annual got canceled because in the letters section, there's one point where they go, "Be on the lookout for annual number two."
I'd wish.
And it just I looked it up and it was like talked about on Reddit, like, oh yeah, Fraction was like finishing up his time, so it probably got canceled.
Hmm.
Because yeah, I was looking, I'm like, did I miss an issue somewhere? But no.
Wait, oh my God, I remember looking for that though.
Hmm.
I was so confused.
You're like, where is it? Why isn't
Yep.
it here?
I also, and this is really silly, I did not realize the ending was the ending.
Hmm.
I then
Well,
bought the next issue of the Hawkeyes, and I hate that series.
there's a Hawkeyes series
It was right after this they started because Hawkeye was really popular.
because I
So they
knew.
started a new run, and it has, oh my God, I don't want to insult the art because I
Mhm.
understand every artist has their take. It is the artist we talked about in the last thing, the one who did the Tim Drake that I absolutely hate. Um,
Riley Rossmo.
I think it was him, and he drew these disfigured children, and they gave me nightmares. I was in high school, and these children fucked with my brain. I did not enjoy it.
Oh, it all new? Oh wait, no, hold on.
It might have been all new. It was right after, so it must have been
Yeah,
started in
because I
like
know they
2015.
showed the
Mm-mm.
Lemire Hawkeye that was gonna start right after this run. So if it was
And
that,
it fucked with me so bad. Like that art, like it just made me upset. And like the story, because like it wasn't the same like down to earth kind of like thing, which again, it's something that some people complained about. They didn't want an emotional based story about Hawkeye's internal life and learning his self-worth and the ability to ask for help. And that makes complete sense.
hmm.
Like it's not for everybody, and it's just my favorite.
Yeah, no, from the looks of it, the all new, or
Who did the art?
I'm looking at something else then.
Um,
The internet's giving me different things, but I have all new
no, all new
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye.
Yeah, this which only went for 5 issues that I'm seeing.
Yeah,
I
it
guess it,
wasn't good.
but what I see a different all new Hawkeye run, or is this the same one, just different covers? No, there were two all new Hawkeye runs in 2015.
What the fuck?
Yeah, let me look this
All new
up.
Hawkeye.
There
Hold
was
on,
a
I gotta
five
find the
issue
children.
and there was
This is
a
probably
6 issue.
amazing content.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, no, there were two. So there were two all new Hawkeyes. One
Okay,
for the first half of 2015 and one for the back half of 2015 into
that's
2016.
wild. Hold up.
And
Let me
then
see if I
and
can
then
send you this.
after those two wrapped, you get the 2016 run with Kate Bishop.
Which is I love Clint, but Kate's amazing. Hold
I'm
on.
excited
Let
to
me see
read
if I
more of
can.
her.
Yay!
I once I
Hold
get
on.
back to Young Avengers, I'll be reading a lot more.
Here, click on this link.
Oh, a link.
Sorry, I'm showing Sean right now the
Oh my
children of
God.
Project Communion. If you want nightmares, look up all new Hawkeye Project Communion.
Oh
They
God.
are not um it is very upsetting, especially because they are children.
Yeah, so this isn't Riley Rossmo, thankfully. Um,
Okay. You
but
could
yeah,
see where the confusion came about.
it's close. It's wow. That's that's something. Watermelon heads. They all look
It
like
is like
Megamind, but more disfigured.
E.T., Megamind, and like a grape that has been left in the sun too long. It is uncomfortable. I did not enjoy it, especially after this amazing, amazing story. And
Hmm.
yeah, I stopped.
Understandable. Um, well, on that note, what was your favorite piece of dialogue from the
Favorite
back
piece of
half?
dialogue. I'm in Kate's right now. That is not what I meant to. Favorite piece of dialogue. Let me go through and actually think about it.
I
I
mean,
do like him
this
tricking
run has
everybody to
so
call
many
for
good
Barney,
lines.
I mean. Um, it's all the sign language. I love the sign language in it.
Yeah, I think it probably would have been beneficial to actually understand sign language
Want me to
for
translate
some.
it all?
Sure.
Okay, sorry. I took sign language for a few years.
Because I
So
was reading, I'm
obviously
like,
Clint, Clint,
oh, okay.
in the beginning, Barney signing, stupid,
Hmm.
calls him stupid first and then spells his name, which is great. Clint ignores him. Now what? Now what? Barney says,
Is this him
do
calling
you
him
remember
stupid?
what's going
Or is this
on?
Clint?
Yeah, stupid.
Stupid.
Stupid, and then he spells Clint at the bottom.
Okay. So then
Clint.
what's this?
Now what?
Okay.
Do you remember?
Okay.
Saying like, do you remember how to sign? Are you being stupid?
Okay, now we get to this page.
Hold on. Um, so that's Uncle Barney. There's spelling in the top bit of.
Oh.
Oh wait, no, this is you're on a different page than me.
Yeah.
Oh, showered today, maybe. That's when Barney's going like, "Oh, you smell." And
Okay.
then change your clothes. And Clint like sniffs himself and goes, "I'm fine."
Is that what this is?
That's Uncle Barney, yeah.
Okay.
And then it's you can sign. Like you can sign. That's what the fuck. WTF. Um, this one's dad. Dad, that son of a bitch. And then she says, I want, and points to the bottle of alcohol. And he goes, You'll spit it out. Um,
For those who also read
and
the
then this
book,
is
this will be helpful, trust me.
yes, so sorry. No, I feel, and then Clint just stops.
Hmm.
And then this is actually I think my favorite bit of dialogue. Dad's big. I can't stop him.
Yeah,
So
these
he says Dad's tall. I can't stop him, which
these all would have been good things to understand while reading it.
and then this he's yelling at him and Clint's like I lost everything and Barney goes you can take it back.
Hmm.
You can get it all back. Um
And then there's this.
it's he's basically just saying everybody's going up on the roof in 5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
And then he's signing
We're gonna
they'll
destroy their lab.
never they'll never stop. I will stop them. And I was like, how are you going to stop them? And he goes, wait.
Yeah, that would have been helpful to know in the moment.
Yeah, no, it's really helpful to know all the signs. And then the best thing is Kate signs to him later
Hmm.
in the one of the last issues. I think it might be the last issue. She says, thanks, Hawkeye. It was in Hawkeye.
Oh. Oh.
So they gave him a little name sign of Hawkeye. It's an H. So for those of you listening, it's an H to the forehead.
There we go. My favorite
Yeah,
piece
this
of
is
dialogue
my
outside of the sign language was the when he calls back to the issue with Tony with the cables and goes, "You have to make your stuff work," and then he gets like
yup,
the
and
crap kicked out of him.
he uses
Um,
it to tie up the guy, I thought.
well, so he got beat up when he says the line, but then later, yes, he unplugs all of his cables and uses it to tie up the guy.
Yeah. Don't. The
And
way they barricade the building is awesome.
yeah, and I also very Les Mis, yes.
Very
Um,
lame is
and the
very,
way,
very timely right now.
oh God,
I'll send you a video later.
this was a good escape. Oh, but yeah, no, what I also really liked, because I feel like the back half was hurt by splitting up Clint and Kate. I understand from a storytelling point of view why you do it to have them grow individually on their own. I do feel like it was a detriment, and the reason why I think of this now again is because I love the issue with Grill's funeral where Kate's trying to take care of Clint and like explains the collar with the collar stays, and that ends up being how Clint defeats the mime guy in the end by taking out the collar stay and throwing it into the guy's eye. I was like,
So good.
that's great. But yeah, I just didn't need Lucky to get shot again.
No, nobody needs the dog to get hurt.
Like didn't need that. I forget what
Oh,
happened to Ivan, the guy with Penny and everything. I think they just kind of beat him up and that was it, right? He gets arrested.
yeah, I think he just gets
Kate grabs
arrested.
the gun first so that neither of them can grab it.
Oh my God. And she shoots him through the wrist
Right, that was it.
because he
Right, because
heard her
she
dog
that was a great moment. She tosses up the gun and just
when
fires
he goes
through.
to catch it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very good. Um, yeah. So what would you rate the back half
Ah,
of the
my
book?
headphone fell out.
Ah! Oh no, that's why we have over the head headphones, even though they can apparently dent your head or whatever online social media thing is going around, allegedly.
I
I don't know.
I
I've
just
been
think they hurt sometimes because I wear glasses and they push my ears against the
some
arms.
something popped on my feed of like, oh yeah, wearing headphones too much can cause your head to literally dent over time. I'm like, okay.
All right. I already have a dent in my forehead anyway.
Yeah, and I don't Twitch stream or anything, so I think I'm okay. I feel like if I wore them for 10 hours a day, then yeah, maybe there'd be a problem.
Oh my God, if somebody's Twitch streaming for 10 hours a day, take breaks.
Yeah.
Take breaks.
So out of 10, back half of the book, what do you think?
8 or 9. Probably like an 8.7.
I
It's
give
not
it a
perfect.
I give it a 6 or 7.
Oh,
I was
oh,
Clint stuff was great. I just didn't care about LA. I was like, all right,
I get it. I
it's
get it.
fine. I liked the couple. I liked Kate.
I love them.
I liked Harold before he turned into an LMD or whatever weirdness.
I still love him.
Um,
Him just showing up in the back of the car and Kate passing out and him being like, might have been a bad idea. Like,
yeah. And like, then Kate's dad is like, ah, he's a villain too. I was just like, all
Kate's
right.
dad's always been a villain.
Yeah, I know. But
He's a bad guy.
I was just like, all
And
right.
this is also why All New Hawkeye wasn't my favorite thing because they do set up the fact that Kate's dad agrees that they need to die.
Yeah.
And that's, ooh.
Yeah, so they swapped that for the show where instead of Kate's dad being the villain, it's Kate's mom.
I mean, neither one of them are supposed to be good people in the comics. Like,
Well, in this series, Kate's mom isn't around. Like,
no.
it's that the dad remarried, right?
Yeah, it's a stepmom right now. That's
Yeah.
Kate's age.
hmm So I don't know anything about Kate's mom in comics right now
Um,
then.
I feel like she was also not great. Kate Bishop's mom. Not Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Affiliation and relationships.
Yep.
Eleanor
Yeah.
Bishop.
West Coast Masters of Evil Temple of the.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. I knew I wasn't going crazy.
The first image that shows up on her like Marvel fandom page is her with like half her face burned off, holding
Yeah.
like an evil mask.
Neither one of them are great people, but Kate's amazing.
God, that's such a crazy expanding on a character's origins when like in Young Avengers she just shows up as kind of like rich daughter wants to
Yeah.
join the Young
Rich
Avengers.
daughter of villains.
Yeah. Yeah. You'd think she
She's
would have joined the
rebelling.
Runaways. Um,
Mm.
yeah.
Her parents aren't that well connected.
Yeah,
Well,
I
they
guess
are,
so.
but you know what I mean.
I
Different kind
mean,
of
one of the
connected.
Runaways' parents is like Ultron or
Yeah,
something.
I was like, different kind of connected.
Yeah. So any other thoughts you have on Hawkeye in general, this run?
I love how visible it makes Clint's disability.
Yeah. I
I
like the
do love
hearing
that.
aids at the end, the purple colored hearing aids.
Purple colored hearing aids are beautiful and
I love
amazing.
that final page of the two of them firing arrows side by side in the
I
apartment.
love their established partnership in it. I love Barney still. I love Barney doing good and then still fucking off at the end with all of Clint's money.
Yeah.
Um, I love LA. I love Harold. I know, I get it. I get it. LA
I
is especially
think
not for everyone.
I think maybe I would have enjoyed it more if Kate had other well-known Marvel characters to play off of. Like if Kate went over there and she was like, instead of hanging out with Clint, hanging out with, I don't know, like Wiccan and Speed or something, I probably would have been like, oh, okay, we got some. But
But that
just
would have
there
defeated
was
the
nobody that
point.
grabbed me outside of Kate. Like, and I was there for the Madame Mass stuff, but then like even that got confusing to me where I was like, all
Yeah,
right.
no, I get it.
But
I
I
get
feel
it.
like putting Kate, I don't know if she has been on, but like if she was on like a West Coast Avengers
She
living
has
in
been on West
LA,
Coast
she
Avengers.
has? Yeah, I figured.
Yes.
Like that sounds like a fun
West
book
Coast
and
Avengers
idea to
wasn't
me.
a thing then, though. I don't think.
No, I think West Coast Avengers has been around since like the 80s, or they
At least
just didn't
I
exist at
don't
this
think it was
point in
active.
time.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
mean. Because I know she joined up West Coast Avengers after the fact.
hmm
Or was that in this universe?
Was it another fan
Cause
fiction?
shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up,
For
actually.
several years, I went searching.
I still think it's hilarious that you fully thought. No, because it has Spider-Gwen in it as well.
Mm,
No, it is,
okay.
but I think it is West Coast event. Yeah, because she's in it. I think America's in it at some points. Yeah, America's in it. Clint joins up every once in a while.
Hmm.
It was the 2018 series.
Okay,
Was
so
it
it's
when she
post
was
Secret
dating
Wars.
Novar? It might have been when she was dating Novar. But yeah,
Mm.
2018 West Coast Avengers, Kate is a part of it. So is Clint.
Hmm. All right, I'll have to add that one to the list. That would have been coming
It's
around.
good. That was
That
pretty
would have been
good.
coming out around the same time as Jason Aaron's Avengers, which I know has mixed reactions.
Mhm. Well, I enjoyed this series.
All right. So, with that, that's pretty much all the thoughts I have on it. I like the first half better. The second half was
Valid.
good. It was fine. I thought the last two issues though were awesome. It
Hmm.
was a strong finish for the book.
Listen, you just gotta love Brooklyn. Live, love Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I can't believe I said that.
Well, it'll make it into the episode, so don't you worry.
Great.
So thank you once again for visiting your local comic, Sean. If you like today's discussion, please feel free to check out other episodes we've done. All episodes of the podcast are available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and SoundCloud, with new episodes dropping every Monday at midnight. Please feel free to subscribe to the show and follow my socials at Local Comic Sean for clips, what we're reading in the future, and more fun. If you'd like to support the show, I encourage you to subscribe to our Patreon. I'm not even going to read the rest. Thank you so much again for visiting, and I'll see you the next time. Any parting wood outros?
Um, live, left Brooklyn. I don't know.